Zoom to Facebook, so it caught me off guard. It was taking the show to my page, to my profile page. Raima Jaka, greetings from Kingston, Jamaica, otherwise known as Roaka. Zaki Manduve Matasi, Arsenal, where do we stand? We're coming to that. Patrick Mwashigadi says tuned in from Taveta. And then Jamie Lemmy Jr. is insulting him. Why? I don't know. Tris B. Mweni says Nico locked. And guys are still coming in. Guys, share the link so other people can come in. By the way, at some point in the show, I'll put my airtime in the comment section. If you get it, well and good. If you don't, better luck next time. Masharia, over to you.
Thanks, guys, for coming. I believe today we have a lot to talk about, especially on the European Super League. But before we get there, we also need to discuss about the sacking of Jose. But before we get there, I want to begin with an Arsenal fan. Yesterday, you drew against Fulham. And where does your season stand? Do you think your season is a success? And do you think that your season success will be pegged on your performance there in the Europa League?
Okay,
Brian.
So, let me tell you one thing. You come on realize here.
By the way, Brian,
Because to be possessed.
Brian, we can't hear you. There's something wrong with your network. You need to sort out your network. If it's Wi-Fi, you need to beg your housemates to get on their bundles so that your Wi-Fi is better. I think we move on to Chelsea as Brian sets his network, sorts out his network.
Yeah, so Drogba, I see you guys are in the FA finals and you're also in the Champions League semi-finals. But I realized that against Porto, you guys played in pink shirts. So should we still refer to you as the Blues or should we refer to you as Pinky Pinky Ponky? Mother headed donkey.
No, I think you're just trying to digress from the performance we've had lately. I understand. I totally understand. It's hard for y'all to like deal with it, and the fact that you're performing well, you all can't handle. You're not looking for funny things to use against us.
But Drogba, if I can ask, why are you guys behaving like you've already won the FA Cup? You know, you're playing against Leicester, who are having a good season as well.
Yeah, we are not denying that. And come on, you guys, we have all the rights, or rather, it's justified to celebrate a win against Man City because they're not the worst team. They're actually the best team in the world right now. If you are looking at statistics and all, and the way they've been playing, they're the best team in the world right now. So beating them is not easy, especially in a semi-final. Yeah.
But Drogba, there are teams that have beaten Man City for the past 2 years now. Asumbui.
Walisumbua na kama walikosa kusumbua, that's on them. Us, we have to feel good because I feel like the final was played on Saturday. That was the final. The final was against Chelsea and Man City. Whoever was coming out on top, you guys, I can assure you, there's no way we are losing the final. There's no way Rodgers is gonna outstack to call. No chance.
Let's bring in Norbert. Norbert, can you assess that semi-final between Man City and Chelsea? For me, I think Man City I don't know whether it was Chelsea who were good or it was Man City who were just not themselves on the day.
Rightly said, Carol. Man City never turned up. They were not there in the game. Their movement, they had a lethargic performance. If you ask me, how do you play football with 8 people defending behind the ball and depending on the counter only? That's literally what Chelsea has been playing. And look, they try to suck in Man City into their game. And the Pep realized the same mistake that Pep realized in the first leg when we were playing against Madrid in Madrid, resting your own players for another tournament, which I think didn't work well for him. So to me, Chelsea, yes, they had a win, but I can't give it to them that they're performing. Lately, they've been performing, yes, they're conjuring some points here that is important. But performance-wise, they are not yet there. As much as it builds the momentum, but I don't think Chelsea can brag all the way like Xavi is saying that.
They bored Man City to a loss.
I think
exactly.
I think you guys.
Jenga says, "What a dull game that game."
It was.
I think
It was
I can
pathetic. It
feel.
was a pathetic performance from Man City.
I think I can really feel your pain, guys. As you guys talk, there's that pain in you guys. But let me tell you something, and this, take this from me. How a team sets up should never be a problem, because how is set up is not illegal. It's basically like trying to win a match, and I don't see how that is a problem to other fans. As we enjoyed the game, as in Man City were pressing high to us, and we were beating the press well with passes. We were arranging. Jorginho was the man of the match. They were having a good game. Let me finish. Let me finish. I didn't interrupt you. So I'm saying, like, the pain in you guys, it's okay. I feel it, and how we played was enjoyable. As in, defending is an art as well, but there's something you guys don't want to understand. Tuchel is not a defensive manager.
Let me read some comments. Yeah, then we can get Miller's view on that semi-final. Samuel Humphrey, okay, he says following the live session, Raima Jaka, kudos Chelsea, mli outshine Manchester City.
We actually did. And whoever doesn't think that,
hey Joshua, why are you not here today? Kwani you concerned with Masharia? He says Chelsea were just imperious, terrific performance. This is another Drogba, by the way. Hard coach.
I was looking forward to seeing him.
Jenga says, yeah, what a dull game. Raima Jaka is denying that he's in Ruaka. Sawa, you're in Jamaica, if you say so. Guys, your comments on the Super League, we'll take them a bit later on in the show. We'll definitely get to that. We just know that once we start talking about Super League, we won't talk about anything else. Tris B. Mweni says, Masharia, wacha hizo, just deal with Chelsea being in the finals. Miller, a quick comment on that game, then we move to the Arsenal game. We need time to move on.
Yeah. For me, I feel I'm more for Chelsea going to the finals, because one, it means City cannot make the treble, as that would have been a very painful.
They'll shut down Manchester.
Exactly. So they cannot. Any other treble is an unstarter. Like, you cannot count a Carabao Cup
that makes sense.
As a title.
Let's move to the Arsenal game, Masharia.
Yeah.
Masharia, we move on to the Arsenal game now that Mr. Masai is back.
Yeah, Mr. Masai.
Yes, to me, I think the best yesterday was because we dominated the whole of first half and second half till when they got a penalty and they scored us. But the fear also the Chinima is mingi sana. Finally, Ceballos, I think it was a goal. So to me, the best team lost. This is on a thing in the result because up to now we are in position 9, of which we are supposed to be either 5 or 6. Come out men and empire. Lakini for now, Europoli tunachukua alafu hiyo kitu ikikuwa disqualified hiyo Super League tutacheza Champions League next season.
I see.
Nani, Masai, your network is not clear. We're not really hearing you clearly. Although I did hear that Arsenal were denied a goal, which I think, unfortunately, our first goal was offside. But for me, the bigger discussion point is whether they should be going to VAR for a millimeter. It was literally a hair offside, you know. I think that is, for me, spoiling football a little bit, you know.
We felt the pain. We felt the pain. I can feel it.
Rules apply to everyone.
But rules are rules.
Even the badge of a shirt. They will rule it off.
Even a hair, one braid.
Yes.
But I also heard you saying that we completely outplayed Fulham, especially in the first half, which I think we did, which I think Arsenal really should have been 2 or 3 goals up in the first half. We should not have been trying to fight for a 92nd minute equalizer. But that was our saving grace, but still a disappointing result for Arsenal. But I guess it's a lesson that if you're playing a team that's in the relegation zone, it doesn't matter if they outplayed them, they are playing for their survival. And you better wake up.
Yes.
If you're one of these teams, you better wake up.
Now, Mike,
You've been outplaying teams since Wenger days, but still, the result are the same.
No, I we played so well. Wenger days we used to win the best team.
That was painful. Hey,
Now,
Miller.
Robert,
Yes.
Robert, I want you to bring
Yes.
you to this. You remember when Pochettino was signed for Spurs? There's a season actually Spurs went on without signing a player. And so after they went a whole season without signing a player, and then afterwards Pochettino had a bad spell. They fired him. They brought in Mourinho, signed 4 players, and then they spent 30 million in firing Mourinho. So do you think it was just his fault all along, or do you think that even the club, Tottenham as a club, had a part to play in all this mess that they find themselves in after sacking Jose?
It should be 2 or 3 things. One, Pochettino did what Wenger did to Arsenal from when he was trying to do the transition from Highbury to Emirates. Remember, the Arsenal won the league that year with the players not being paid. So Pochettino actually managed to help them build new Tottenham, new White Hart Lane. So he actually achieved something. And then after, he was given not what he really wanted, but he was given something small so that he could at least get some few players, which he tried bringing in some few players like Ndombele. That was his signing. Kinabaguin, that was his signing. But you see, Levy, he wanted quick results now that because the stadium was there, he wanted results. And it never worked well. And I remember in the same show, we are sitting here with you, Masharia, and you were happy that Mourinho was going to win anything at Tottenham. I told you, Mourinho, his days are over. His heydays is past him. Right from the second time he was chased from Chelsea. To me, that is the time I wrote Mourinho off. Even by the time he was going to Man United, I knew Mourinho could not consider anything. So to me, it does not come as upright. Mourinho is still trying to play for press, but you see, the game has evolved. And one thing I must say that I'll miss about Mourinho is about his openness. He's one guy that is very open, very strong in his wordings, and speak openly with it, and very strong. So I like about Mourinho. But this one, it was just a matter of when. So yes, Levy had a play because they needed a big name. Pochettino had taken to the final of the Champions League. So they wanted a coach of that caliber who could maintain helping there. And you see, sacking Mourinho is not by anything news. What Levy are trying to do is they're trying to keep Kane at Tottenham. Because I was very sure, and I remember saying this in this show, that if Mourinho continue being the coach of Tottenham, Kane is going to leave. And you see, that's a jewel, they don't want to lose him. So they had to sacrifice Mourinho.
And Drogba, Mike has brought a very important topic. As we discuss whether just a sacking, if you are Harry Kane, should Harry Kane stay at Spurs or should he go to a bigger club like Man United and start competing for trophies?
I don't think he should go to Man United because they don't compete for trophies really. But what I can say is he's at the point of the career that he needs decoration. I mean, this guy has scored how many 200 and I think he's chasing Alan Shearer's record, and he's now far away. I think he has 219 goals.
167.
I'm saying overall, 167 in the PL, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So he's chasing. He's done it all, and he has no trophy to his name. So I think he needs to go to an ambitious club, and he deserves trophies. I mean, he's a 20 goal striker. I don't think there's a season, and considering he gets injury, he has to get injured every season, and he still bangs 20 goals. World class striker. He'll go down as one of the best strikers, or rather, I think he'll go down as the best striker in the Premier League to never win anything, and that's sad. Mila. So he should leave. He should leave.
Mila. I want to remind you those are times.
Just remind guys, the European Super League discussion is coming on. After this, we're almost done with Mourinho, then we're getting to that. Guys are impatient. Yeah. They want to discuss the Super League. We'll get to that.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I say something? 20 seconds about Mourinho. If you guys, I had read from I had read on Twitter somewhere that Levy was receiving emails every day from the Tottenham fans. Like he was receiving almost 3,000 emails every day from fans about Mourinho. They were not okay with him, and he was causing disharmony in the dressing room. He had started throwing players under the bus after losing, or maybe after not getting the result he wanted. So it was time it was before the fans returned to the stadium.
Miller, I want to bring you to this, and I remember there was a time Steven Gerrard wanted to leave Liverpool and win trophies, and his coach told him that one title at Liverpool is worth 10 in either Manchester or the Arsenals of that time. So, according to you, if Harry Kane stays at Tottenham and maybe wins one title, should we also say that one title for Harry Kane at Spurs is bigger than even 10 at Man City, United, Chelsea, or whatever?
Harry Kane is a local boy. He came from the Spurs Academy. So one title depends also which title is it? Is it a Carabao Cup? Is it the Premier League? So for me, it depends what he actually wins. And someone like Harry Kane's caliber, it should be either the Champions League if they ever get there, the Premier League at least. But any other thing
is less.
It is less for someone his size.
Masai, how's your network? Let's see if it's improved.
Mine.
Masai, Mr. Arsenal, it looks like it's freezing again. Let me read some comments here, Masharia, then I come to you.
Radull send him bundles.
Let me see. Jimoy, okay, I don't see what he said, but Eric replies to him and says, we don't want Harry Kane at Manchester United. Okay, so Panian Senior,
we can't afford him.
The reason why Tottenham sacked
Mourinho, they can't afford.
Listen, the reason why Tottenham sacked Mourinho is that they didn't want the story of them joining the Cashical Super League to trend, but of Mourinho to trend on their behalf. Really. Hilda, Hilda checked in late and asked what she's missed. And then between Hilda and Ochiweda, they've missed each other. Guys, you can take that to a room, please. I believe Ochiweda has a wife, so on a light touch. Joshua Kwanya says, Harry Kane leaving Spurs for City or United doesn't mean that those clubs need him. He needs those clubs to win a title. With or without Jose as boss at Spurs, Kane won't win anything. By the way, that's the other thing. Spurs, they reached the Champions League final, they finished second in the league, then suddenly they think they're a big club. They're really still a number 5-6 club.
They're an average club. Huh? Never a big club. Never.
They're just like
never a big club.
In fact, they're only a top 4 club because Arsenal has become so useless.
They're not even a top 4 club. Leicester are.
A big club in this context. A big club in this context is more.
Us will be back.
Okay, guys, I think we need to make progress.
Just a few more comments, Masharia. Sorry. Okay, guys are arguing about. Karim says, no, who's Jose? Jose says, Radull, there's no such thing as the 92th minute in English. Then Karim says, do you think she doesn't know that? And puts many exclamation marks. Arguments in the comment section. Maybe Mohamed Yare says, Mourinho should learn from Wenger. His style doesn't suit today's football. Just go and rest. Maybe that's a point, because there's old school football.
Should go to Sky Sports and do punditry. He's good at that.
You should go and do a Thierry Henry, and become a...
Yeah.
Imagine Roy Keane and Mourinho. That's a deadly combo. They finish
box office.
Come here on the terrace. Who knows?
Yeah.
Sure.
Masai, how's your network? Ever try and talk? Because we're missing you on this show, but your network is letting you down.
Oh, I think Saiko Sawa. It's okay.
It's okay. Okay, you were reviewing the Arsenal game before. Just do it very quickly. We'll allow you that time, like 30 seconds.
Oh, I said the game was, I think yesterday, every team lost because we don't have to dominate first half and second half. We created some chances, but we never use. Alafu ile ya Lacazette pili tuangusha. I hope mnanipata.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm saying yesterday's game, I think we were supposed to win it because these chances totally great. We want to make use of them, but we failed. VR scam. Ilituonea ile by Sabalos. I think we were supposed to be aware that goal, but because of the reason why
we
lost it.
Sharia ni Sharia.
An offside. Rules are rules, man.
Arsenal, we just hope
Rules
to
are
finish on
rules.
page one. Masharia, I think take us to the Super League now, because we are halfway through the
Yeah.
show, and I think that's the discussion that people really want to get into.
Exactly. And so before we even get into the discussion, I'm sure all of you have heard about the Super League. And I just wanted to give a recap of what the Super League simply means. The Super League is a league that has been that 12 clubs across Europe want to form, 10 elite clubs and 2 comedians from North London. Now, the 10 clubs and the 2 comedians from North London want to form a league whereby they can always face each other. And then at the end of the season, they get a winner. Now, the rationale for that is because they're saying that in the Champions League, Man United play the Champions League, they face Istanbul, and there's no much money coming from it. But if Man United would face Real Madrid this week, Barcelona next week, Dortmund Juventus the other week, there's so much revenue coming from it. Now, the problem with that is that the money that is coming from these 12 clubs, you always stay with these 12 clubs and not trickle down to the clubs that actually, they are calling it the pyramid, the clubs that actually feed the bigger clubs. So I want us first to begin from this point. Now, the big clubs, are they justified to say that the Champions League is not giving them enough revenue, yet they are the ones who are working hard in promoting revenue for the UEFA Champions League, for UEFA? I want to hear from you. Can we begin with Drogba, for example? Yeah. Do you feel that the big clubs are justified in wanting more revenue for themselves?
Well, what I can say is that, first of all, you guys have to understand, UEFA are just, they're just bitter that they're both greedy. Both, even Akina Perez, these guys who are coming up with the Super League, they're also greedy. And UEFA are just bitter that they're not gonna get a cut, or maybe there's a more greedy organization coming up. You see. And to go back to your question about if the clubs are justified, I think they are, because they've been getting. If you compare with what they get at the end of the season and what they're gonna get after the European Super League, it's almost 3 times. It's almost 3 times the money, and we all know UEFA makes a killing over these clubs. So I think it's I don't know how to say it, but it's really a tough one, because football globally, we all know, has been about developing players, as in, for example, a championship team or a third lower league, they dream of one day playing in the top flight, and now you're gonna kill those dreams. Yes, for the money, it's a good way, but I think it's just a greedy. It's just a scheme for these rich club owners. They feel that they're not rich enough, and they want to be richer, and it will kill the dream of so many players.
Let's go around and get everyone's opinion. If you leave Drogba, he'll talk until 9.
Yeah. No, but
I can't call it a sad affair. I don't know how to say. I don't know how to even to pitch. I'll start with my comment, because I'm looking at it from this perspective. In the last 10 years, signing of players have been very much easy. But come today, fast forward, we are signing players like 200 million. Look at what Neymar was signed for, what Mbappe is being asked for, Ansu Fati. Where is this money going to come from if you don't get it from the rights of their players playing? Masharia, as a young footballer, when you're growing up, every dreams of a footballer is to play in the top elite league. You want to play with the likes of Barcelona, you want to meet Madrid, you want to meet the Bayerns, and now you're being given that opportunity. And at the end of it, there's a stipend attached to it. In as much as the money is not going to trickle down to the feeder clubs, which I feel for them. But you see, it is the modern football. I mean, if Seferin, who is the UEFA president, I mean, the European is the UEFA, the Seferin. If Alexander Seferin, if they could have been doing a decent job, we could not be having a runaway clubs wishing to do what they are doing, because it's not about 12 clubs like you say it. Some clubs are still pondering about it, like the Dortmunds. Though they've released a statement that they're going to sign about it, but it's there. In Paris have been floated this idea. So you see, it's cream de la cream clubs, and believe me, they cannot suspend these clubs. It's an invitation.
So are
That's true.
Norbert, you've
Big
muted
win.
yourself. Are you for or against it?
Me?
Yes.
Me, I'm open-minded about it. I'm open-minded about it.
Hey, watermelon.
Eh. Mila?
Anaenda na upepo.
Yeah.
Mila,
Okay.
let's have your opinion before I throw in the next.
For me, I'm against it just for the sole reason because there's no competition. For you to play the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, Inter, at least you should earn the right to play against them. And this issue of not having a relegation format in this league makes it more of it makes owners such as the Glazers, the Kroenkes, not even bother to fund in or push in more money into the clubs. Like they're not doing that currently. So what will stop them from getting more money out of the club and not putting in the equivalent? You people talk about. I see nobody talking about people not clubs not signing players. Man United has been signing shit players of late, and
Mind your language.
yeah.
Mind your language.
Okay. Man United have been signing mediocre players, and for this you find that getting this money is only going to be the owners are using the club as a cash cow to make more money, and they don't get to be in touch with the soul of the game and the fans. The fans have been left out of this equation because it's more about the money men. It's a club for the money men, and Eduardo, I'm sure, has a lot to do with this, given the links from JP Morgan buying of the Man United team, now coming up with the franchise.
Masai?
Okay, to me, I oppose it from the start. Hiyo nimeikataa kabisa because it's like inaenda kumaliza timu ya wachezaji. Personally, I don't agree with it. One, there is a point that I heard they were saying that if a player plays in the Super League, he's not going to be allowed to play maybe for his country or the Champions League. So to me, it's only going to favor the rich clubs. That is it, the founders.
Now, I want to just to explain a little bit of a scenario here. Today in Kenya, for example, if you came and gave me 5 billion and told me to develop sports, I would develop community clubs across the country and then have those community clubs having systems and structures of under 15, under 17 in the community. That's ensuring that every kid, whether in Mandera, in Mombasa, where, can actually play in the National League. Now, when those players play the National League and we have a well-structured way, just like the Dutch have it, we can actually sell 8 to 10 players a year at maybe 40 million pounds a player. And that will mean that if you have 10 players from Kenya, we have 400 million euros coming to Kenya to develop sport. So if that system happens across the world, we shall have a lot of money coming to the grassroots to develop sports and to develop the talent of football across the world. Now, the effect of having an elite type of club, and that's the problem that has happened ever since Abramovich took Chelsea and the money started coming in, is that we have got so little coming to the grassroots. And that is why, if, for example, you look, I'll give you a classic example. If you look at France 2002, France 2002 had 4 strikers. We had Trezeguet, we had Henry, we had Anelka, we had Wiltord playing for France. And now, Olivier Giroud is a starter for France. That tells you, that shows you the regression in terms of the quality of the game as a result. Now, if we now restrict money to just these 12 clubs, don't you think that we shall have a Niklas Bentner being the top scorer in a World Cup? No, but.
Can we get there, Mashaya? Can I read some comments? Because guys are really commenting on this. So let's get everybody's opinion. Okay. By the way, today so many people wanted to join the show and we couldn't. Odinga Wood Bondo, he says the big clubs should be ashamed of themselves. How do you form a league where you have preferential treatment? That means there's no need for hard work. Nowadays, the most epic battle in the Premier League has always been the top 4 battle, but with the Super League, such will never be the case because the big boys are assured of slots whether they perform or not. You finish 2nd, 8th, or even 10th, it doesn't matter. You will still share a table with the big boys. This is utter nonsense. Arsenal hasn't finished in the top 4 now for 5 seasons and now wants to be considered amongst the big boys. UEFA should stand firm. People must work hard. No shortcuts in life. Money is destroying this beautiful game. Hilda Cheptor, in general, UEFA has been poor in managing the Champions League, having finals in cities that don't have returns, but the Super League will discriminate the so-called small clubs. My take, why not improve the Champions League? These guys need to sit and negotiate and stop tantrums qua media. Watching the same clubs every day will be boring without competition, without relegation. It doesn't make sense. Kavin Obura says, actually, Juventus and the Man United share price has actually gone up today. So market ideally optimistic about this development.
Yes.
Let's not forget football is a business. There were some comments here from Joshua I wanted to read. He said the Super League is good, but competition aspect in Ndoshida, as in no one is going to be relegated. Utamu Haiko. Manuel Bolnikang says about the Super League, I'm totally against it because it's not fair to other teams. All the teams have been affected by the pandemic financially. And then Joshua also says Super League is a show of dynasties versus hustlers. We know the winners. Can I give my 2 cents before you go for round 2 of opinions?
Yeah.
I'm 100% against it, both as a fan and more so as an Arsenal fan. I think the Super League is going to take a lot of the joy out of football, as in, for me, we all look forward to the big fixtures throughout the year. We look forward to El Clasico, you look forward to Man U Arsenal, you look forward to, so if these guys are going to be playing every single week, first of all, that takes a lot of spice for me outside of the game. I think a lot of spice will be lost in terms of they're not underdogs, apart from Arsenal. That's why I said our first comment is an Arsenal fan yesterday, later. But we will no longer see what happens in the Champions League, where we have a cabazzel that gets into the second round, or you have a, it's just going to be the big teams, the big teams, the big teams. I was watching a lot of Arsenal TV when I came home, and I watched last night's program, and they were saying, why is a club like Arsenal getting involved in a league where we'll always be last? Let's face it, for the foreseeable future, Arsenal will be last. Yet, there'll be nothing to fight for anyway. Right now, we know that if we finish 9th, 10th, whatever position you finish in the table, there's loss of revenue. So there's that determination to do well, because the higher you finish in the Premier League, you'll get into the Champions League, you'll make other money, you'll win Europa, you'll make other monday. But here we are in a league where even if you finish last, you're going to make so much money. Where's the spice in the football? Last week you saw what Arsenal did in Europa. We'll never have any of that again. Thirdly, where are we going to even fit these games? Because if they're going to play midweek, are they getting rid of other European tournaments? We see managers season in, season out complaining about packed fixtures. Now you want it to get even more packed, saying the leagues can play on the weekend. This will play in midweek. There's so many things on so many levels wrong with this. I didn't realize until I was watching Arsenal TV that the 6 English clubs getting involved in this, none of them are owned by English people. They're owned by Americans. And I'm assuming, Norbert, I saw you nodding when I was telling you about the share price going up, that it's about the business. Unfortunately, America is bringing too much business football. Where's the sport? Where's the fun? Where's the reason we watch football? It's just going to become a money game. Even now, trust me, the football I watched before Masharia, when he was still in primary school, the football we watched there was so much more exciting than what we're even watching now. Because now it's just become a money game. We know that player is there and he'll start sulking and he'll get sold to another club. There's no loyalty amongst players. Today you're in Man United, tomorrow you're in Arsenal, the next day you're in Liverpool, then you're in Chelsea. The game is already being spoiled. Now it's going to get even worse.
Now, before I take round 2, Caro,
I'm a very silent observer.
No, I'm saying before I take round 2, and I appreciate your sentiments, I want to bring in Drogba here, because Drogba, you normally watch the NBA. And if you look at the NBA, in the NBA, we don't have promotions, we don't have promotions, just like they want to propose in the Super League. In the NBA, what they ride on is that the big clubs play in the NBA, and because the big clubs have got fan bases, they ensure that they face each other more often, and then the more they face each other, the more they get the revenue in the TV rights. And Caro will tell you that if you attend an NBA game, it's not even about the game that happens on the court. It's about the excitement that comes with the game, the players.
You're not a big basketball fan like me, but if you're a fan, you watch the game. Me, I'm not. So I'll shout like this.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And even if you look at the rules of NBA have made it a game whereby you have to score so many goals. You have 21 seconds to get to the rim. You don't have to stay 3 seconds your opponent half and things like that. So I'm asking you, the reason I want to bring you to this conversation is, do you think that the American owners of the football clubs want to bring that American style of sport now to Europe, whereby the excitement is all about the game, that United is facing AC, so there's that excitement with that game? And do you think that if you transform football from passion to that entertainment bit, it will work in Europe? Or it's just that the Americans, I don't know. What do you think about it?
What I can say is, I think that is the idea, because it's Americans who are bringing in. These are a project from JP Morgan, that super bank from America, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're the ones who are pumping in the money, and they want to the difference. Okay, the difference between now the Super League and the NBA. You see the NBA, it has strong players union. Like they have a unity, and the commissioner who ultimately works for the owners, as in has a mediate between the two. I don't know if you're getting my point. Like for NBA, it's very different. Even if how they do it is very different from how Super League are planning to do it. And if you are gonna go the American way, we're gonna kill so many dreams. And I've told you, because football is all about dreams. Like there's that championship player who dreams of one day playing in the Premier League, or rather, competing at the highest level. So and I think this is a very, very bad way of handling sports. And as I told you, it's a billionaires scheme for these billionaires who think they're not billionaires enough. And
Americans should stop spoiling our football. See, they go and do this in America.
Yeah. That's what they do. And if you look,
they already do it in America, because the MLS has no relegation and there's no promotion.
Exactly.
They have a lot of money. They have a lot of money.
I'm sure you all know David Ochen, who plays for, now he's at Mathare United, and he played on and off. He used to play for New York Cosmos. New York Cosmos were in the second-tier league under MLS. And while he was there, they won it, I think, like 3 times in a row. And you win the lower league 3 times in a row and go nowhere. Because nobody
promotion.
He said no one is being promoted. You're in your little cocoon. I told him that is the most boring structure I've ever seen. Next.
But I think it's more of driven by the Real Madrid and Barcelona having wanting to amass more money into the game and kill the Premier League also to some extent, because La Liga is not giving as much broadcasting money as compared to the Premier League. And now the Americans want to force everyone to call the game soccer in some way.
Mila, it is not. If you listen carefully, or if you read carefully, you'll find that it's not about the Real Madrids and the Barcelona swap. Actually, the real proponents of this thing is emerging from Italy, the Serie A. Those are the driving people who are pushing this agenda. I don't know what, but me, I strongly feel we must say where the problem is. UEFA has failed to some extent. And by extension, UEFA has failed because we've had of problems of clubs complaining about even the seeding problem that was being done, on how countries who are being done in the pools of getting 4 teams, 2 teams into the Champions of qualification. They've failed. Let's say it the way it is. So having done that, the UEFA, just like what Hilda said, they should sit down. But just thumping and saying we are going to disband these teams, they cannot do that.
And that's what
I dare them to do that, because
today it's been discussed in European in the British Parliament. That's how far it's gone. They want the fans to take over ownership of clubs.
Caro, it is the same. It is the same parliament through the legislation that have allowed these Americans to come and invest and take ownership of their own clubs.
Realize that the Americans are coming in.
It is too late.
They just sit down and have tea. Kumba, they were living with all my furniture and my TV.
Yes, it is too late for them because it's already gone.
Yeah.
Caro, and that's why I want us now to focus on going forward. What should these clubs do? And I feel
people's comments first. Let me get people's comments because they're also part of the show. Kiprotich Changewo says, there's nothing ESL can spoil that Chelsea, Man City, PSG, Leipzig, and Real Madrid haven't done. Oh, you wait and see. Kwanya Joshua says, with Super League, Liverpool won't lose 7-1 against Aston Villa. Hilda Chepto should be happy. These teams have realized that they make more money for UEFA and FIFA than they receive for themselves. But in UEFA's defense, yes, these clubs have realized that they make more money. UEFA makes the money, but UEFA have also tried to spread the money. That's why you find teams from Eastern Europe, from some Middle East Israeli teams getting into Champions League, some Cyprus teams also being in
Maccabi.
In the preliminary, yeah, those teams that beat Man U sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you have to spread the loot so that you build the game as a whole and not just the game amongst a few people. Kwanya Joshua says, but don't think the likes of Perez have brought up this issue for organizations like UEFA or FIFA to give them more money. Maybe a bargain ploy. Okay, now he's
probably
going into the board.
Probably.
Maurice Muraya says, European Super League financial details. Founding clubs have signed a 23-year commitment to the Super League. Legal advice to clubs is that it would be a breach of EU and UK competition law to deny a new entrant into the market. Clubs believe signing off at least 10 billion in solidarity payments demonstrate their commitment to the wider game, blah, 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 blah. Basically, the Super League is saying will also help to develop. They even have an angle for women's football. Actually, that's the intention. The argument about money is not going to the grassroots football is a big lie. Before opposing the ESL, we need to analyze the proposal in full. By the way, they have said that money will trickle down. But me, it's more about taking the joy out of football. And
yeah, but Radull, I have a question.
The process.
Radull, the question is, FIFA and UEFA are against this Europe Super League. Yet, in the same breath, sometime last year, the FIFA president was proposing the same setup for the African Super League.
Thank you. Double speak.
You see, it's not double speak.
Football is in the ICU,
African football is in the ICU, and the fact that we can't even sustain ourselves means that we can always be thrown like a pendulum. You can always be used as as a test lab for anything.
Sorry, your network is going.
No, but I think
network is going.
And the question now, I want us now to use the next 10 minutes in discussing the way forward.
Okay, the network.
That's where you go wrong. Because if they don't want it, yes, if they don't want it, why should? Okay.
No, but your network is going.
Your network is shaky.
Macharia?
I'm saying that now we need to discuss the way forward, because at the end of the day, the clubs needs money because the game has to. We have to proceed with money. But also the sport itself needs, we need to have the sport, the football itself as a sport. So one proposal that the UK Parliament is proposing that the clubs be owned by the fans, which will be good because at least we shall have the sporting aspect of the game back. And so I want to ask you, what proposal would you have? And I begin with the talk. What proposal would you have going forward? What should the clubs and UEFA do so that we don't lose the sport and we also increase our revenue streams?
I think if JP Morgan organization has the intention to rise the game for Europe, I think everyone should be involved, and that means not starting this Super League thing, and maybe they can come in as sponsors. That's my opinion.
Involve more clubs. Don't limit it to those few clubs. I don't know.
Yes, yeah, involve everyone.
Miller, you're laughing. Your thoughts?
Okay, for me, I feel for this to work, I feel that a body like the FA or the Premier League is the UK Parliament to put some sanctions or mandate all these owners of these clubs to at least invest back to the clubs, because since the Glazers took over, it has always been money out, money out, money out, and you find that little is being given back to the clubs to invest in, and you find they make more money in dividends and that they pay themselves, but they don't give in or invest more into the game. And I think it's the same with the Arsenal. Kroenke makes money but doesn't invest into the club. So these are the things that make the fans a little more angry in terms of the owners will get rich and the clubs are dying in terms of performance.
You know, my feeling is that, especially when it comes to the Glazers and Kroenke, they took over clubs that used to win the league, that used to get Arsenal. Okay, we never won Champions League, but used to get to at least quarters and semis. But since they came, and since Alex left, Man United and trophies have become like chalk and cheese. Arsenal is not making money based on trophies won. When was the last time we won a real trophy? Not FA Cup, a real league or Champions League. When was the last time Arsenal was even in the Champions League?
2004.
There's revenue that, as clubs, had they looked at the balance sheet before they bought these clubs, they would have seen, these clubs are making a lot of money. But because of the last couple of years, just two clubs like Arsenal and Man United have not been making the money that they've made, say, in the earlier part of this century. And these guys are just thinking, I need to get my money back. I need to make money. And for me, that's taking the focus away from football. Football, there's a reason it is the most popular sport in the world. Because
of the competitiveness, because of the competitive nature of it.
But you see, Caro,
and it's because of the competitive and the fans. It is a fan sport.
Yeah, the fans.
What you're asking, Masharia, it was discussed on Arsenal TV, yeah? And what's his name? They were asking, at what's going to happen? It's like this thing is going to go forward because contracts have been signed and everything, and it's going to go forward. So they were asking, what can we do? And they were saying, all you can do is boycott it. As a fan, that's the only way you can do. That's the only thing you can do. Boycott it. Don't go for the games. Don't subscribe to TV channels. Don't let the sponsors get their money back, because the sponsors are putting in all that money to get their money back. But which fan is going to agree not to watch football to make a statement?
Yeah, that is not practicable.
Exactly.
So basically, and I don't want to swear here, when did peep?
But you see, Caro, I wanted to comment and say, you see, even the likes of Madrid and who have been winning trophies, the likes of Bayern who've been winning trophies, are all in a financial turmoil at the moment. And what I feel is that the current market of players has gotten to a point whereby it's unsustainable, because if you have to sign a player for 100, 250 million pounds, how will you recover that money? The salaries you are paying these players are unrealistic, they're unreal, and I think
that's what they need to cap. That's what they need. All the clubs need to sit together with UEFA, with the FAs, and say we're putting a cap on how much you can buy a player for, how much you can pay a player. Put a cap. We got ourselves into this.
If I can
such as Pepe at 70 million.
If I can weigh in, you see, what we're discussing is okay, But then again, look at it on the flip side of it. You see, the problem is really hitting EPL. Why? They slept. Because if you see, everybody's on a cash trap. But you see, some of these presidents, the owners of this club are nationals of those countries. So Barcelona, their money is going to remain with them. Madrid, Inter Milan, the Juventus, their money is with them. But it's only in England where we're having this problem. And that is why even in England, purchasing a player is a problem. You find somebody, an English player, to sell an English player. It's being overstated. Look at what Maguire was bought for. Look at what Kinanani is being told can afford and the price that they've been given. In as much as, yes, I agree, they are good players. But you see, the problem started from EPL. But these guys, they want to recover their money because their money is going to remain within them. But in EPL, this money is going to go away. That is not the bitter pill to swallow. Because the owners of this club are not from England. They are away. So they are looking at the revenue going out of them. They're generating, but they're not sustaining. That is where now the English Parliament is coming into play.
And I think that's why the Parliament is saying, then if you have to play the Super League, then you have to make sure that the club is owned by the fans.
Which is too late.
Like Bayern Munich.
Chando is saying, as fans, why boycott it? Give us valid reasons as to why to boycott it. Basically, it is an unfair league. For me, it is an unfair league. That's the bottom line. There are teams in the championship who their dream is to get promoted and play other big teams in the Premier League. And then it's just going to be a whole mess because it will be like, rich people only speak to rich people. Poor people, you stay in your lane. You know, there'll be no mixing.
Losing to Real Madrid. Losing to Real Madrid is not. There's no banter in that. Unlike losing to football.
Your customer, your data is 50%.
That's true.
Comment Yangu Hajam Soma. Where is your comment now? Guys are asking where Masai has disappeared to. He's like a modern day Wenger. His network was really bad. I've seen he's tried to rejoin and I've rejected it because unfortunately his network is really bad. Maurice Muraya, as owners of clubs, what they're looking at is their businesses, return on investment. As a fan, you're only their customer client and can only complain on the quality of service offered. Manchester United and Liverpool are no longer the community clubs they started out as. They're now global brands and businesses. It's all about the profit. That's a sad fact, I think. But it's spoiling
very
the
true.
game.
Yeah, it all boils down to the club owners. They have greedy club owners because if you look at Man United, the Glazer family, they get so much money from Man United and they invest it at Tampa Bay, at the baseball team.
Elsewhere.
Yeah, elsewhere in America, they invest it at the American team.
Same with Liverpool at Fox in the US.
Exactly. That is now they want to go down that road, and it's gonna be unfair for a lot of teams. But maybe for Chelsea and Man City, it can be different because. As I read somewhere, Chelsea and Man City, they joined basically because they don't want to feel left out from the super teams joining a Super League. They don't want to
but you see, Mansour wants his money back. Mansour, lately Abramovich has not been making enough money also, we know that.
Exactly.
But yeah, I can agree with you guys, but we all know like Abramovich has never hesitated in investing in Chelsea, and even in sacking managers is very expensive, and he does it because he wants Chelsea to compete at top level. You see, so his best interests are still both that they are making money and still Chelsea being a competitive side. And I can't say the same about someone like Kroenke. That is why Arsenal fans are calling him out and they want him gone. So, yeah.
Let me read a comment here. Peter Mburu, as a fan, we're looking for comfort, meaning or assuming financially we are satisfied, while as the investors, they're simply just hungry for money. Ibrahim Akanmu says they were all hit by COVID. Why UEFA failed to do anything so is pathetic. They're also human and they're paying players too. But all clubs were affected. All clubs are going through financial restraint. For me, what the problem we've seen like in La Liga, where the top two clubs are so far above the rest of the league, now the disparity is going to be even worse in some of these other leagues. The top six will have money that the top six in England, if they're allowed to stay in the league, because you've been hearing all sorts of banter that they won't, will always be the top six because they'll have the capability to compete above the rest. So that's going to water down those leagues. In Italy, it's AC and Juventus. Huh?
Inter also.
Inter.
And I know Napoli is joining them too.
Huh?
Napoli is also going to join them.
So they'll be there, and there'll be no competition in these leagues. In Spain, there'll be no competition because the financial muscle of these big teams, the other teams won't even be able to compete. For me, this is, I think we developed KPL, we quit EPL. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be kill the spice totally. It's gonna kill the
You need
spice.
to.
The more I talk about
There's no
it, the more
fun.
annoyed I get.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I was saying when the Caro referred to me as a watermelon, is because let's wait and see. Because sacking these people, just banning them, that will not help even the Premier League or even the UEFA League. They need these people. They need these big clubs because these people, they have the image rights. They have, even the sponsors they want. It is through these big clubs. So
Yeah,
getting
true.
them out of the channel is like, who's going to sponsor them?
Yeah, and
If they're
another
not
thing,
broadcasting this.
A few comments today. The comment section is on fire. Francis Mangi says this is just killing the sweetness of football. Panian Senior Kasaini. Oh, I found his comment. He says, here's my comment. The reason for creating the Super League is just greed and Americanizing football. I say this because English Premier League clubs are playing in one of the best leagues in the world. I could accept on Real Madrid and Barcelona. And for those saying on titles won, why are teams like Celtic, Ajax, Benfica not involved? I don't support ELS team anymore. I support football. Augustina Chando, but Radull, those teams will still be promoted in their domestic leagues. Domestic leagues are not tampered with. After all, we usually know teams that will participate in Champions League. I see no difference. I actually see difference because for me, the beauty of Champions League, the beauty of Champions League is when you see a team get in that's not supposed to be there and vice versa. Here, Arsenal, for me, is getting a buy. We haven't been in Champions League for how many seasons? But we're getting a buy into top quality European football without investing in the club itself and improving our own game. That's a shortcut. That's why I said we'll be last. I saw Edwin Odipo, he's annoyed with me. He's saying today I'm Kali because I said Arsenal will be last in the Super League. We'll be last.
That's the truth.
Yeah, but I'm telling you guys,
5 invitational clubs will be last.
but let me tell you, these governing bodies, they'll have no option but to come on board. As I told you guys, these are battle for the grid. As in the guys who've been corrupt all through the years, and they've been greedy. They're now bitter because a more greedy organization is coming up. And if you look at, UEFA had a chance to ban Man City last season, and we all knew
they didn't.
Enough evidence. The evidence was there. And we all knew Man City is going down. They're going to be banned from UEFA. What happened? I think even the fine was embarrassing. I think it was £130,000 or something. So
same with PSG.
They were bought off. So that basically means they were paid off. So they want to be the part of the cut. They want to be the part of the cut. And definitely they'll come on board when that happens. And they have no choice because these are the clubs that make them money. They will have no choice but to accept the Super League.
I think they just need to review with a wider panel on how this is done. There's something I heard on Arsenal TV earlier where Robbie was basically saying, this is how the English Premier League started 30 years ago. It was the same concept where 5 teams, I believe Man U, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and I think Everton.
Everton,
caused a breakaway league from Division 1. And this is how the Premier League formed. But in that instance, the other teams did join them, and even those 5 clubs can be relegated, So they didn't form the Premier League and then alienate everybody else. And I'm seeing that's what's happening in the Super League. They're alienating other clubs.
Carol, I want to believe we don't know still the structures of this, how it's going to operate. Suppose it sees the light of the day. But let me be the devil's advocate here. They are just founders because they are the breakaway teams, just like you rightly put it. They're just founders. It does not mean that they will not be relegated should it come to that time.
They won't. They said the 12 members are permanent members. In fact, they're going to be.
They've said it already. They've said it already.
They've said it already. let's say, okay, fair enough.
And then they're going to
And,
be five that come in and out. Even if you're those five and you win, you can be relegated.
So they're like veto powers.
So you're right, no,
I
we can see in the coming days how it develops.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen Fabrizio Romano has tweeted that UEFA decision about Champions League and Europa League semi-finals will be made. The decision will be made in the next few days, and I think they're just buying time to see if the clubs will retract from. They are not gonna. They can't ban them.
They won't retract. They won't.
There's a Premier League meeting tomorrow.
With that money,
Clubs won't retract.
Macharia, we've taken over your show. I'm sorry, and we're 6 minutes over.
And I'm seeing more clubs joining for the lure of the money.
As an investor, I understand because the money is too good.
I'm seeing more clubs joining. Even me,
Okay, for me. Thank you guys for
We
coming.
need to wrap.
I think we need to wrap. And as I finish, exactly. As I finish, I want to tell our viewers that I used to watch wrestling in the 2000s, and there was a team of guys like in a Nash, and they always had T-shirts written NWO. And so one day I asked my neighbor what that NWO means, and he said it's a new world order. And he told me in 20 years the whole world will talk, walk, think, and do everything like the Americans. And so I was very excited because I thought I would always be living in a fancy cars, listening to DMX and 50 Cent music. 20 years later, I'm still listening to Micro Wasmogevi, but I think what he told me 20 years ago now makes sense. Now makes sense. Soon and very soon, we shall even be having our educational curriculum as the Americans. Thanks, guys, for coming.
Without question.
Exactly. But thanks, guys, for coming. It's always an honor, always a pleasure.
By the way, guys, today I've talked too much. Masharia, I apologize. Let me not send you a WhatsApp message later. Let me tell you now. Today I talked too much. I'm supposed to be a silent observer.
No, we don't mind. We don't mind.
I'm so passionate about this topic. It's annoying me.
No, we understand you're an Arsenal fan. We understand, and the Arsenal fans can't keep quiet. We know that.
Yeah, no matter, even if they go for relegation,
get out already. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Drogba, pleasure, Norbert, Miller, Masharia, who watched. By the way, you guys in the comment section, you are too live today. Because Raima Jaka, Princess Nelly, and Ochiweda, they're having their own bash in the comment section.
Tell them we were get crashing like Super League.
Huh?
We are get crashing like the Super League. We are coming in their bash.
We are coming. We're coming. We're joining the party right now.
Masharia, good job.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Yeah.